So overnight with the fire here in Wooroloo, we've had a better night than the previous night. We haven't had the fire impact any properties overnight, and it's also some milder conditions that have allowed us to complete some tracking, particularly on the southern flank of the fire. We're still having difficulties with the tracking on the northern part of the fire, and that is a concern ahead of some difficult conditions today, where we're going to see the wind shift to the southeast, so have a bit more of a southerly influence in it, and that'll bring that northern flank under pressure. There is particular concern today for later this afternoon for the area of Shady Hills Estate. We're going to see gusts to 70 kilometres an hour in that northwest corner of the fire there. Really difficult terrain, really steep terrain. The message to the people in Shady Hills Estate and in the outskirts of Bullsbrook is that they need to enact their bushfire plan and consider whether they need to evacuate now out of that area. It is really critical that people have their plan in place and make sure they're prepared. They've got some time now ahead of what those difficult conditions this afternoon. We will update the warnings in a couple of hours once we know that people are up and out of bed. Those warnings will reflect that those difficulties we're going to have in that northwest corner today and the possible threat to the Shady Hills Estate.
How is not the retrieval process, but the process whereby they're finding out homes, how's that going to be in addition to the 59?
Yeah, so the rapid damage assessment teams have continued their work overnight. I can report the tally of homes lost now sits at 71.
And also, I guess, has there been any evidence of loss of life, or has it been
At this stage, there's no evidence of loss of life. Nothing reported to us. We haven't had people coming to us saying that they haven't been able to contact a certain person. So.
I guess, can you just reiterate how difficult conditions are going to be throughout today? I mean, people will be waking up today, seeing less smoke, seeing no glow of the fire, but the danger's still there, isn't it?
Yeah, but people need to remain vigilant. We don't want people to become complacent. We're into day 3 of this fire today, and it is going to continue to be a challenging fire for us for at least the next 3 or 4 or 5 days. We've got a little bit better weather on the weekend, a possibility of some rain on Sunday, but people really need to concentrate on making sure their bushfire plan suits their requirements, making sure they're keeping abreast of those warnings. Can I just make the point about people who may be quarantining? The most important thing is the preservation of life. And so if you're quarantining and you're required to evacuate, you should just evacuate. And I'd suggest those people that are quarantining, now is the time to give some thought to what's an alternative place that they could go. That might be a family or a friend, that they can go there and continue their quarantining there, notify police. But what we don't want is indecision from people about whether they should evacuate or not when we require them to evacuate. So that evacuation overrides any quarantining requirements that people may have. We're going to have some difficulties this afternoon with that fire that's down the bottom of the hill with Shady Hills Estate at the top of it. So we've got a ways to go with the fire yet, and that's a real clear message to people that now's not the time to become complacent. Now's not the time to think that it's not going to happen to you. Watch the warnings, follow the warnings. If the call is to evacuate, then we're expecting people will do that and enact their plan. Yeah, Shady Hills and also the parts behind that, so further north of that into the outskirts of Bullsbrook, I think those people need to be on heightened alert today.